And so the only paper that initially covered it was the New York Post. And the headline, which was considered perfectly appropriate at the time, was "Queen Bees All Abuzz as Nest is Raided by Police."
Stonewall, it was like a hotel or something like that, I think, and it was riots. Police raided, which started a lot of gay and lesbian riots, and they were fighting against the police and all that stuff. And it's like gay liberation or something like that. I don't know. That's what I know. A little bit.
Like, to just think of how all of that went down, like as far as Perry was talking about the riots and different things in New York, the coming to arms and like being able to stand together and say, you know what, I'm tired, and I'm physically tired, I'm emotionally tired, and I'm not going to deal with this anymore.
The LGBT press didn't really exist then. Whatever reporting came from national press. So if you read the New York Times, or you had access to it, you probably saw something that was fairly prominently portrayed. You were living in a lot of other places in the country. It did not get reported at all. It was not until what was the first gay pride in New York in 1970, which was a year after that people were talking about it. This is how this pride movement came into being.
All of the descriptions in the paper are, she lisped, he fanned himself as he, all of the men are described as she, and always very, very effeminate. And that was considered standard, completely appropriate reporting. This is a major daily newspaper. And that was how the Stonewall riot was initially covered.
What it did was scare me. What it did was probably keep me from coming out for 4 or 5 years. Because in a very public way, what I saw was how we were treated. And that it wasn't okay.
You read about in D.C. with the gay community back then was when President Johnson's assistant was arrested in the restroom at the Y.
But I think that Stonewall, from a West Coast perspective, was picked up more as a symbol of gay liberation than for the significance of the 3 days of rioting or whatever per se. And by the first year when it was celebrated on its first anniversary, then it became the thing which was the uniting symbol for the entire movement. But it wasn't so much so at the very time it happened.
Even people who were on Anita Bryant's side in the thing were suddenly forced to shift in the way they did things and become very serious in the advocacy for their side, as we had to become very serious for ours. And that was a major shift in the way people considered these issues, I think.